Welcome to One of Those, the show that explores the art of sneaker culture. I'm your host, Adam Butler, back with another episode. Thank you so kindly for being here. So this week, man, we just celebrating sneaker culture. There's been so much negativity in the culture. It's actually amazing how negative things have been really over the past year or two, but specifically over the past couple of months, it's been negative. Stories about crooked resellers, apps that don't work, drops that just go wrong, stores being broken into. I've covered it. Everyone's covered it. We are done with it for now. At least we are done with it. We're going to be celebrating the culture. So I dug in the crates again, and I got two cool interviews with two cool brothers. My man Panama Jackson's on the show. My man Paul Span's on the show. Panama's is going to talk about his journey as a writer and how sneakers influences his writing style. And then my man Paul Span is here. We're going to talk about our top 5 iconic sneakers from films. It's a dope episode. Keep it locked. We're going live right now. Panama, what's going on with you, brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing? Glad to be here.
Man, glad to have you, bro. Happy to talk sneakers with you, man. I've been actually looking forward to getting you on this show for a minute. I've been peeping
Okay.
you seem to be a brother to struggle when it comes to, we all struggle trying to get, the land on the sneakers app and cop stuff that we like. We gonna get into that in a second. But just before we get started, man, do you even consider yourself a sneakerhead?
I think I try to run from the title of being a sneakerhead, but I probably spend way too much time thinking about shoes and sneakers and too much time on StockX and comparing those prices to GOAT prices
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then wonder why Stadium Good is so expensive to not be a sneakerhead. Like I'm too actively involved in the conversations about shoes to not be. So I guess I am, maybe reluctantly, but I am.
It's funny, we did the documentary, same title. And when I asked folks about being a sneakerhead, like, what does that mean to you? And could you define it? Some people were cool with it. Other people did try to it's almost like they saw it as like a derogatory term towards collectors. You know what I mean? They prefer collectors or
Right.
just fans instead of like sneakerhead. It kind of, to them, I guess it kind of insinuated like a fiendish behavior. But in a way, I wouldn't define it as fiendish. It's just that when you're
Right.
into something, it becomes part of your lifestyle. It influences everything you do. So I don't have the problem with sneakerhead. But are you saying, will you try to run away from that term or get away from the term, that you see it as a negative thing, or it's just something you just don't choose to call yourself?
No, no. I mean, it's more out of deference to people that
Mhm.
I feel are actual sneakerheads, like people who are
Mm.
like genuinely invested in the culture of it. Like I typically get the shoes that I just like, right? Like there's not always a story behind it. There's not always some deeper meaning. It's just like, oh, I just think those shoes are dope. I'm just gonna get them. It
Mhm.
just so happens that I have a lot of shoes,
Mhm.
and I probably actively participate in places that sneakerheads might participate. Like I just never. I just feel like out of respect for the people that I know who are alive, true to like the Clark Kents of the world, who are new,
Yeah,
who
yeah,
are not new to this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and I've been collecting sneakers for a long time. Don't get me wrong. Like I know what very near dead stock means. I know, like
Mhm.
I get it. I'm part
Yeah,
of it. But I actually know some people whose collections would literally um mock my collection.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but like I said, I'm a sneakerhead, and I really do love sneakers and tennis
Right.
shoes, and I like having them. I just like buying them and
Mhm.
forgetting that I have them and remembering later, like, damn, I do have those, and pulling
Yeah,
them out for that one time I wear them a year. So,
yeah.
it's not. I don't view it in a derogatory in a derogatory way at all.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's just a respect thing for me.
We all know it's all about what you like and what you
Yeah,
collect.
it's
You
about what you
mentioned it.
love, man. It's a culture that I love. You know what I'm saying? And it's a culture that I genuinely enjoy being a part of. I guess so. Yep.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. How long you been collecting?
That's a good question. So I have these eras of time in my life where I remember just
Yeah,
having way too many pairs of shoes, and
yeah,
I like get rid of all of them in one fell swoop. I like
yeah.
donate. I donated a pair of Balenciagas to Goodwill. Like I do stuff like
Mm.
that on occasion. I just be like, I got to get rid of them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
probably 10, 15 years, maybe even a little bit longer than that,
Mm.
where I actively started paying attention to the fact that I'm doing this like almost as a I want these shoes. I'm paying attention to them probably for 15, maybe a little bit longer than that. I'm
Mm.
guessing just, but I don't know that I've ever actively spent as much time focused on sneakers the way that I do now, or
Mm.
the past like 5 or so years or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I've been more. invested in trying to find the shoes for my youth and stuff like that now than I
Yeah.
was before.
I,
Yeah.
I use the word culture a lot. We use the word culture when we talk about sneaker culture. And
Right.
to me, one thing I've always liked about you, bro, is that not only you just a dope writer, but you have a lot of hip hop and pop culture influence in your writing. You know what I mean? It really reflects. To me, sneaker culture is a subculture of hip hop culture. Hip hop culture is obviously a subculture of black culture. So, like, to me, wearing sneakers is some of the blackest stuff I could do. You know what I mean? I
Right. I
love it.
agree.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. How does it influence your writing though? Like, how often do you write about sneakers, and how do you just sneak in little terms and stuff like that to your work?
I probably started writing more about sneakers lately. As the conversation about sneakers has gotten so much bigger. Like, for oddly, sneakers have been COVID proof, right? Like,
Mm.
people are buying shoes more. The
Yeah.
reason I can't hit on sneakers because everybody and their mom is on sneakers app right
Mm-hmm.
now. There
That
was a
stimulus
time
check.
where, bro, there was a time when I felt like just getting on sneakers I was gonna hit. I didn't. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
just. But now everybody's doing it. So
Yeah.
as sneakers have gotten more popular, I've probably written more about it just because I'm in the house more and it's something
Yeah.
I'm paying more attention to. I wrote an article today for uh for the people who don't realize that you might wear a size 10 in one shoe, but it ain't a
Mm-hmm.
10 in every shoe. Like,
Yep.
just
Yep.
like, I know how, like, all the pairs of shoes I have, they range from a 9 to 11 depending on what brand it is, what
Mm-hmm.
model it is, so every now and then I just get in the mood about writing about shoes and just the little nuances about it, talking
Yeah.
about, because what I found is, like, my audience is not the sneakerhead audience. So it's a lot of more information that I'm providing. Like, I wrote about the Nick, what's his name, Ajagu, Mina Harris's partner husband.
Yes.
I wrote about him rocking the Dior ones at inauguration,
Mm-hmm.
and that joint went viral. Like, that
Yeah.
article went viral because apparently a lot of people that read VSB
Mm-hmm.
aren't sneakerheads, so they were learning something and
Mm-hmm.
sharing it. As in the sneaker community, everybody's like, "Oh, the Dior ones, he got."
Yeah.
That conversation was, "Look what he has on."
Yeah.
The conversation outside of it was, I don't understand the big deal about these tennis shoes. He has on tennis shoes at inauguration. So it's
Yep.
like I kind
Yep.
of bridged a slight gap between the two worlds. And
Mm-hmm.
and so I think I've started to do a lot more of that because I didn't realize how big the gap was.
Yeah.
And now that I recognize it, I'm seeing the little places where I can fill in those holes.
Thank you so much for joining me, bro. I hope to have you back on the show. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, bro.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, bro.
Paul Black Man Span.
My guy, my guy, my guy. What's happening?
Man, I am cooling out, bruh. So, I had to hit you up, man. The
Yes,
audience
sir.
knows who you are. You've been on the show before. They know all about you. I had to hit you up because Space Jam is out. Space Jam came out
Yes,
last
sir.
weekend. I watched it with my boy. I watched it with the family. The young man enjoyed the movie. It did his
As he
job,
should.
right? Yeah,
As he
yeah.
should.
It did his job. It did his job. But
Mm-hmm.
for us
Mm-hmm.
sneakerheads, anyone that's tuning into this show, we all about the footwear and the original Space Jam. One of the things that made it a classic, it certainly wasn't the acting, right? Or the
Not by
storyline.
far.
Yeah.
Nor with this. Nor with this one.
Yeah. It's the apparel. It's the footwear that comes from it. And LeBron put out a nice line of stuff. I believe that these shoes are going to be things that kids are going to look back when they get older and go, remember those
Yeah.
Toon Squad
From
joints?
this. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have that too, and that's why I really think this is really cool because it gives us an opportunity to be nostalgic for a second. So I did this on my TikTok, but this time we're going to get more into detail about the top 5 sneakers, iconic sneakers from
Ooh.
iconic films. All right,
Ooh.
here's how it's going to
I'm with
go.
it.
All
I'm
right,
ready.
here's how it's going to go. I'm gonna list them, okay, and then we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna comment on them. You ready?
Let's go.
All right, here we
No
go.
doubt. No doubt.
The
No
first
doubt.
one. And our man, we got a friend that owns a pair of these, P. He owns the Nike Air Mags. Okay.
You know it's funny. You know
Yeah.
it's a serious shoe when you have to say something like it's a shoe that one of our friends has.
That's all I say. Listen, that's what I say. It's a joint that everybody wants, but no one really
Right.
has. So Nike Air Mag for Back to the Future 2.
Ooh.
Let's talk about this, man. What stands out about the Nike Air? Well, why do you like the Nike Air Mag?
I mean, for one, obviously, we all know that it's connected to Back to the Future. Of this, we know. For one, and for two, power laces, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, understand something. When you look at it now, it's not as blow your mind as it was back then when you saw it. But still, nonetheless, the nostalgia of it never goes away. Bro, I'm 43 years old. Nothing still takes away from nostalgia, I feel, from certain J's, because I remember the time period in life that it was. And for that Air Mag, like I really don't care if you're 60, 70, 80 years old. It's iconic, man. The movie is timeless.
Yeah.
I mean, and that shoe is so futuristic, yet simplistic, but futuristic.
Yeah, that's really what it is, Pete, is that the shoe is futuristic. It's literally from a movie called Back to the Future in 1985 or whenever this movie premiered.
Right.
You know,
right.
we couldn't even fathom. I mean, listen, in 1985, I was, 2 or 3 years old. So I wasn't even, but even when
like 7 or 8.
Yeah, but even when I saw the film as a little kid, years later, it was still like, wow, imagine having a shoe that could self-lace. Imagine having a shoe that looked that cool. Not only is the shoe out, but now we have self-lacing technology. So this is another prophecy from the movie Back to the Future.
And just to throw a small little extra caveat onto it that people probably already know, just a little inside baseball. The importance of the actual Nike Mag now, as far as what it has to do with Parkinson's and with everything that Michael J. Fox is doing. So it's not only is it something that we can marvel at from looking at it, from feeling nostalgic, from it being cool, but it's also doing something to put good into the world.
And you know what? That's why, absolutely. And that's why these shoes are really, really cool, because not only do they, are they just cool to see in a movie and fantasize about or whatever, but they also have a bit of social impact to them as well, right? Because they come from a story, which brings me to my next sneaker, which is the Nike White Cement Jordan 4, aka the Do the Right Thing jump. You talked about this in the movie. Yes, the bugging out. Now, you talked about these in the movie. What are those? Just sort of explain why you thought not only that sneaker was important, but that scene was important.
Man, and for everybody that hasn't checked it out, definitely go to YouTube and check out What Are Those. But in the movie, I talked about how through that shoe, through that the purpose of the dude stepping on bugging out shoe, and then you see how Spike Lee brings the whole scene in together, and from a sneaker, so many issues are touched on. You understand what I'm talking? I know he purposefully had the white boy in the bird jersey, in the bird t-shirt, just as a contrast. You got the black people over here. You got this guy in the neighborhood with his bird jersey on.
The black folks with the Laker jersey on, the white person with the bird jersey on, Magic Bird. Yeah.
And then even with the guy talking about, I own this brownstone here, blah, 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 blah. So like honestly, bro, I mean, something, and I hate to do all these shameless plugs, but what ties back into the movie is the fact that we can track sneaker culture to important things, even when we switch it over to what we're talking about right now with that white cement 4, and with this movie that allows so many issues to be touched. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, what sneaker culture has corralled into is something I'm sure that's well beyond what we would have thought when all these things were first getting started.
Absolutely. I mean, you said it best, man. I can't really add much more to that. I mean, it's just a cultural icon and a culturally iconic movie and a culturally important film that talked about gentrification and things like that. So, whenever I rock that sneaker, there's a picture of me on my IG. I got the Boycott Sal shirt on with the cement fours. It awesome just means so much. Thank you, sir. Yeah, man, I got to give you a new one actually, but it just means so much to the culture. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on to the next sneaker.
Let's go.
Speaking of Spike Lee, this one is just a cool sneak. A lot of folks like the ball in this one. I'm looking at mine right now. I thought about getting rid of them. Let me tell you quick, and I'm gonna start this one off because we talk about the Heat 13s. Okay, let me tell you a story about these really quickly. Right, I was in the post office one day, just delivering some mail. Giving some mail. Right. You walk on to me. And mind you, matter of fact, what I was doing was actually shipping some sneakers to my man Chelsea Sheriff. He was just on the show last week, right? I was shipping a pair of sneakers to him, right? And the guy asked me what do you ship? I said sneakers. He was like, dude, I hear this voice from the background, right? He was like, you sell sneakers? I was like, I mean, not really, but I got some joints I might be getting rid of, right? He was like, bro, I buy those joints you got on right now. I ain't even realize because I just throw them on because I done put a little work into my 13s.
Right.
I done worn my joints. I was like, what you mean? I looked down. He was like, bro, I buy them joints off your feet right now. What size you wear? I was like, cuz you go buy. I didn't think that really happened. I thought that just happened like on episodes of Entourage or something like that, where people buy the sneakers off your feet.
Right.
Cuz was ready to buy them joints off my feet just because that sneaker is that iconic, and it's not even that hard to find, but it's just because it brings it out of you, man. And when you
So
see
here's
them,
the question:
yeah,
did you sell them?
hell no.
Okay,
I'm looking at them right now.
okay.
And they got work
Okay.
put into them. I should have. You thought that was smart, man. You would have think that you would have sold them because I got a little work put into them. They're a little, I need to
Right.
get my Rejuvenator products and put on that
Right.
one, right? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But no, I need to. Yeah, I can't get rid of that sneaker. That's a classic sneaker, and
Nah.
that's why we're talking about it now. Give me your thoughts on the He Got Game 13, bro.
The Air Jordan 13, He Got Game.
Mm-hmm.
First off, the first Jordan with the little holographic bubble.
I got you here, bro. Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we all know that Denzel Washington and our good man Ray Allen made it very famous. That movie is a awesome movie.
Yeah.
An awesome movie. When I think about it, I think about the contrast of Denzel Washington having his prison bracelet.
Yeah.
I mean his anklet, next to that beautiful 13.
Yeah.
Man, that white tumble leather, that black, and the another thing that we talked about in the movie, man, is sneaker design and artistry of certain things.
Mm-hmm.
That 13 is a beautiful shoe. That one in and of itself. And people don't even realize there's so many things that Tinker Hatfield and the design team put into those things.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? So I absolutely love a 13. I definitely own a pair. But nah, man. But that 13, I think. Essentially, it is called the He Got Game, and that's what it's going to always be.
Absolutely. It doesn't even matter what the real name of the sneaker is. It's
right,
the He Got Game,
right.
and that's why, right? Perfectly put, bro. All right, let's switch it up a little bit before we get to our last one. We're going to talk about them ASIC Tigers from Kill Bill. Let me tell you why. Now, I had these. You remember when I was on my ASICs kick? Yes. Back in what was it, 2008, 2007, something like that. I was really big on the ASIC Tigers for real.
They were better than the Volt Green Nikes.
Okay. I've always really been into different. Now, mind you, I don't want to act like people wear ASICs all the time, right? But at that time, the Tiger and all that, they were kind of popular, but let's just keep it real. People was on their Dunks, people was on their, their Jordans, and of course we rock those, but I had me a couple of colors of ASICs Tigers, and I had those yellow and black joints. And the thing that makes it really cool is that not only is it from Kill Bill, but it's an homage to Bruce Lee.
That's why you're my man.
Yeah, see, that's how cool it gets with that one. So I think that's an iconic sneaker. And honestly, I think that one is up there, hear me out, up there with the Air Mag in terms of people that are outside of the sneaker world understanding that shoe, right? If you're not really, really, really big on sneakers, the He Got Game 13 won't mean that much to you.
Right.
But the Air Mag does, because you don't even know it's called the Air Mag. You just know, it's the shoe from Back to the Future that ties itself up. If you've seen Bruce Lee in that jumpsuit, or if you've seen Uma Thurman in that jumpsuit in Kill Bill, you know that shoe. You don't even know the name of it. You just know the cool yellow shoe that Uma Thurman had on, or the cool yellow shoe that Bruce Lee had on. Right, let's get ready to wrap this thing up. Let's get to the last one. I featured it in the Heat Check. We talk about Space Jam. You can't talk about the new Space Jam without talking about the old Space Jam. And to me, one of the greatest silhouettes, one of the greatest sneaker silhouettes of all time is the Jordan 11. It's so hard to mess up a Jordan 11, in my opinion. And one of the most beautiful, gorgeous Jordan 11s, probably my second favorite Jordan 11 behind that Concord. Okay. And I'm putting it above the bread. The bread is amazing. Look at that.
I agree with you.
But these go just underneath the Concord. We're talking about these Space Jam 11 joints. When Mike stepped on that floor, on that cartoon floor with those joints on, and you are however old you were at the time, how high did you jump up out of your seat?
Listen, bro. Listen. That all black, that patent leather with the purple-ish, bluish jump, man. Don't know really which one it is with all of those things, and understand, and I'm about to take people somewhere with that one too. Understand, this was going on whilst my man was retired. You understand? This shoe was going on. So when he came back,
Yeah.
And remember when he came back, those jams had the 45, had the
Yes, they
the
did.
45 on the back of.
Yes, they did.
So listen, and I'm gonna tell this one little short story real quick.
Sure.
My 13-year-old nephew was here last night, and my niece, right? So they're going through my shoe collection and all this stuff. So he gets to the jams, he pulls the top off of them. Of course, it has the the purple case cover, so he's odd off of that. Pulls the shoe out and goes, "Oh my God, this is my favorite shoe." Literally what he said. Like literally. Now, mind you, we were in here watching the new Space Jam, but then I began to talk to him about that. He's like, "Yeah, I know the other Space Jam with Michael Jordan and all those things." This, for one, I own that silhouette. It's sitting right up there, and it's making me smile weirdly because
that's
Michael
what sneakers do. Michael Jordan sneakers.
That silhouette, bro, is one of my favorites. And Space Jam. I mean, obviously, we see some. I don't know how many years later, the movie's so iconic that it gets remade. You understand what I'm saying? So that shoe is a staple. I mean, kudos to LeBron and and all the newer generation being able to grasp on to things. Like I definitely don't never want to be I mean, obviously I'm a Jordan stan, but I'm never going to be a curmudgeon or, "Oh, this is garbage," and they should have kept. I'm never going to be Skip Bayless.
No, yeah. We're not gonna be Skip. Hey, thank you so much for joining me, bro. You know you're gonna be back. Get used to this face, people. He'll be on again.
Always on the tizoo.
Nah. All right, bro. Peace.
All right, man.